Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to RT Test Tip Tuesday by RT Tips by DW. Uh, I know I'm a day early, but I also know that as far as my students are concerned, you're taking my first exam tomorrow, my cardiopulmonary anatomy and physiology class. So I wanted to try to go through a similar test item that you may see on some of the content that we covered thus far. Uh, so ultimately, we'll get right into it. Uh, when you're looking at an example, it's important to make sure you pay attention to the verbs or the adjectives that are utilized. If anything's highlighted, italicized, bolded or underlined, capitalized, make sure that you pay attention to that. There's some hints and questions if you go about looking at that. But nonetheless, let's get right to the question. A 14-year-old patient arrives to the emergency department with severe respiratory distress following aspiration of a nipple. Which of the following signs is most suggestive of complete airway obstruction? So before I ever go to the answer choices, I like to make sure that I understand what it is that the question is asking us. So if I take a peek at the revisit or re-examine the question, then I can see that it is indeed a 14-year-old. So I know I'm dealing with maybe not necessarily an adult patient, but not a little child either. So that adolescent where we still pediatric, but hinging on the side of adult, nonetheless, 14-year-old patient. I'm not given height, weight, anything of that nature. They arrive to the emergency department. So I'm in a critical care environment or an urgent care type issue. So it's an acute situation going on. And the patient has severe respiratory distress. Now, this means that the patient is having a difficult time breathing. They're in respiratory distress. And it says following aspiration of a nipple. Well, it's important to understand what the word aspiration means. So aspiration means that they have inhaled something into their trachea. Uh, and in this case, we're being told that it's a nipple. So they've aspirated a nickel and it's caused them to have severe respiratory distress. And I know that you all have gone through a bunch of different terminology, gone through your inspection, palpation, percussion, auscultation. So there are things that we know that we can look for when we're looking at aspiration of a foreign body, so to speak, of that nature. So it goes through and we break down the question itself. So here's the information that we have. 14-year-old comes to the emergency department, severe respiratory distress following aspiration of a nipple. Now so that's the information that leads up to what the actual question is, what they want us to do. So which of the following signs is most suggestive of complete airway obstruction? Now keep in mind, there's a couple of things here to look at. You have the word here, most. So which of these is going to be most suggestive of complete airway obstruction? So this means complete airway obstruction, airway blocked. So what does it mean for complete airway obstruction? Real fast, that the airway is blocked, and that's going to help prevent the passage of air or what have you. So that's why it's important to break that down, because we understand that if you have aspiration of a foreign body, that could very well lead to unilateral or monophonic wheezing. So if you're taking this test in a hurry, that could potentially make sense. But if you look at most suggestive of complete airway obstruction, I don't know that I like this answer choice for what's being asked in the question. Suprasternal retractions. Well, okay, so that severe respiratory distress, but aspirated and nipple that have it. But again, go back to the question asking, most suggestive of complete airway obstruction. Suprasternal retraction would indicate that the patient having severe respiratory distress, but it's not suggestive of complete airway obstruction. So although I like it, I'm not going to select it just yet. So I put a little asterisk here, put a little thing here. Prolonged exhalation. Or if I have something obstructing flow, and 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 I do have a nickel in my airway obstructing that flow, it is going to be a little bit uh, expected that my exhalation is going to be prolonged. So kind of think that could go with it too. But again, we're looking at most suggestive of complete airway obstruction. If I have prolonged exhalation, I would anticipate that I'm not really going to have anything going in or out if it's completely blocked. So now we look at answer choice D, inspiratory effort without sound or movement. So I am utilizing the muscles of ventilation, of inhalation, to try to get air in, but there's no sound being, listened from that center that has nothing or movement. So no air, nothing moving around it. So if I go up here and look at what's the most suggestive of complete airway obstruction, if something is completely obstructed, it would make sense that there's going to be no sound or no movement with the inspiratory effort that is there. So given the answer choices that we're looking at, D is going to be the best answer choice in this situation. Now, there are things in this question that might make you think that the other three are potentially correct answers, but the question is asking specifically suggesting a complete airway obstruction. You go through process of elimination. With all of those, you may have some airway obstruction, but it was not complete airway obstruction because you're still making noise, you're still moving the air ahead. Inspiratory effort without sound or movement, complete airway obstruction. That's going to be the best answer choice for what we have here. Hopefully this is going to be the first of the series where I go through and try to break down uh, similar tests, but similar questions that you may see on the exams that you'll take from me. And hopefully in going through and doing this, it'll help you not only better prepare for the exams that you're going to take in the RCP program, but also help you be better prepared through the RTE exam or board exam that will take that upon completion of the program. Thank you all for your time and attention.